Welcome home. It's Irish Family History with curious news and notes, celebrating our 4th year of this podcast at the Irish Roots Cafe, where every day's a holiday and there's always room for one more. One of 6 broadcast series from the head school at irishroots.com. I'm Mike OLaughlin, your host, publisher of rare Irish books and information on every county in Ireland since 1978. Be sure to read our blog, complete with links to click on from this podcast, and search our master index and books for free. Molly, wet the tea, Katie, bar the door, Sweeney, clear that floor, and bring out the Irish dancers. It's time we get this show on the road. Oh, that's right. It's the Irish Family History Show number 188. We've been doing this for 6 years, and I think altogether we've got over 300 podcasts out there now of all our different topics. And today's topics are going to be the family name of the day is Rowan, the Irish CD of the month is Irish Song, Recitation, and Dance, searching for Millard, Phelan, Lowry, and Adams, curious news, what disease saved some Titanic passengers from getting on board at all? And number 5, webpage of the month, Maureen O'Hara. Number 6, a Navy SEAL hero inspires Warship Murphy and the launching. Number 7, a new Irish site with 4 million records to help you in your research. All that and more coming right up, folks. We've got a lot to cover. Oh, well, let's take a look at what's been happening at the Irish Roots Cafe. Well, we always have things going on here, and sometimes they're better than others. Number 1, we've got number 5 of the 6 CDs in our Irish Masters CD program due in this week, and it has not only the songs of all different kinds of styles and commentary from us normal folks, and it also has some notes on Irish dance history in the U.S. and a little bit in Ireland too. And that leaves us only one more CD to produce, and that's going to be the one on Irish genealogy and family history, and that's going to be by yours truly, and I'll try to put some good stuff in there for everybody starting out their search. Number 2, we also have a CD of Irish recitations coming up next season, not this season. So, hey, we're taking application now from all the continents. How about out there in Australia, maybe Ireland? I know there's some good recitation people out in Ireland. So if you got a recitation or a story or the like memorized, let me know. We might get it on that CD next year. And there'll be no pay for this except the realization that you've done a good thing. Hey, number 3, here's a note from Ed, and he was looking for info on the name Starrett, spelled Staerett. And his grandmother, of course, was named Janet, born around 1848. But I checked. He wanted to know if I had anything on it. He could find nothing. I checked, and I saw that the common name was more often Starat, maybe 2 T's, or Starett. So just the change of a letter can give you some clues, and we found it often in County Donegal, Ireland. Oh, here we go with a 1-minute podcast. I think we'll take, instead of the song, we're going to take a little bit of that recitation called Micheál Mór, and it's about an Irish guy still living at home, I think, and he's wanting to go out on his own and meet some folks, and, I think Michael Micheál Collier will explain it pretty well. We'll go in on the middle of the recitation to give you just a taste of what it sounds like on the CD.
The light shone in the parish hall for the local fáinne wearers' ball. Bhí Micheál ann, bhí Susie ann, dressed in a most revealing gown. Our brave Cuchulainn of the West, his hurling medals cross his chest, exclaimed when City Sue came in annim day, well fech shin. Though nervous still, he'd take a chance. Céad míle fáilte, will you dance? Go lua, On the floor they strut, cheek to cheek, from head to foot. Sue whispered into Michal's ear, Eshlum now, let's disappear. We'll use my place, the door's unlocked. You'll stay the night in Shomra Ahocht. Hagarist! Michal's head was in a spin, ni Rashe thinking thoughts marsh in. He blessed himself. This Jezebel would surely draw his soul to hell. He stood aghast, could hardly stutter. So off he bolted, Era Roher, straight away into bed, and decades of the rosary said. Michal Moore still sleeps alone, in a laba vog, ochon. He often dreams of Shomra Ahocht, what might have been. Oh, Michal Bocht.
Oh, that's a good one, Michael. We appreciate that. And we explained a few of those terms that are in Irish at the end of that CD. And, of course, there's all kinds of songs listed there, too. So you've got to listen to the songs, listen to a recitation, listen to a little bit of history on the arts in Ireland from just us normal folks. Well, I think I'll tell you a little bit about that, more about that CD, just what we've got on it. We open it up with Peter, and he does A Nation Once Again, which is an informal anthem, actually before the current anthem was adopted. Oh, and I just saw where the copyright's changing on that. Number 2, we've got Oro Shade of Ahawalia, and that's in Irish by Maria. And then we have Michal Moore that you just heard a part of. And then, of course, we've got Danny Boy, who is the most often sung song in the world, Irish ballad. And then we have a little Irish dance history commentary at the end of that CD. And we've got The Leaving of Limerick, which is a song from Penelope. And then we have Sauni Brunula, that'll be in the Irish. And then we have on Abrunam Lee, I think I've got that right, and that'll be in the Irish by Renata, who knows her stuff. And then we have Over the Mountain, that's in a little bit of a no style in the English. And then we have A Soldier Song with that famous chorus in both Irish and English, and Peter does that. So all in all, it's a good little introduction to Irish song. We've got some in Irish, some in English, some patriotic. So we've got a recitation, then we have a few commentaries. So if you're starting out and you want to get a little an idea of what might be involved with Irish song and recitation, here's just one small step you can take to get there. Now, this is our Irish Masters Program CD collection, and that doesn't mean this particular year one means you're a senior and you're graduating and you know everything. This means you're a freshman just like me, and you're just learning, and you need to get your feet wet, so to speak, to understand what it's all about. And this will help you do that along with life out there in the real world. So I think that tells you the story of what's going on with that CD. And boy, we're excited about it. About 2 more weeks, and we'll have our launch of that whole little program. Appreciate your support, and as always, we always appreciate your memberships coming in because you're the only form of support we've got. And of course, our books. That's the other way we can keep going, keep the podcasts on the air, and it's sure a whole lot of fun. I remember when we were doing these podcasts. Just one at a time, I interviewed and then found the right people to do the job, and we sure thank them, too, for giving us all the help, and that's Peter and Penelope and Michael Collier and Maria and Renata. Thanks to them, one and all, they really support the Irish way. Oh, now it's time for the Magnificent 7, time to raise our eyes skywards, give thanks, and ask for help. Number 1, Bernard Kelty of Milford, Connecticut. Your Annals of Ireland and the Irish Book of Arms have shipped. Number 2, Charlene A. Flynn of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Welcome as a gold member, and your free passenger list has shipped too. Number 3, Reverend Dennis F. Millard of Douglasville, Pennsylvania. Welcome as a new member. And he says, my grandfather, born August 3rd, 1855 in Northern Ireland, County Antrim, lived at Bally, some miles from Ballymena. Looking for info, I have history on parents and family. Contact me if you have something for him. We'll get you together. Number 4, Edward Lawrence of Aberdeen, Maryland. Welcome as a new full member. And it says they're searching for grandfather William John Phelan in Kings County, Ireland in 1883. Got his World War II draft card for Boston, Massachusetts. Can anybody help? Number 5, Shirley Boyd Dwyer. Welcome as a new member, searching Lowry of Carrick-Nahorna, Freeborn of Drumholm, and Boyd of Corlav, Fermanagh. And number 6, Kevin Flood of Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome as a new member. And number 7, Marlene Williams of Santa Clara, Utah. Welcome as a new member. Looking for Charles Adams, born 1795, and Catherine Mills, and the children, of course, and would like to contact cousins living in Ireland right now. She says Charles lived and owned businesses a business in Hillsbow Down in Ireland. So that's the list for today. Thank you to each and every one of you members, patrons, supporters, and book buyers. We need you. Oh, let's take a look at the family name of the day, and it's going to be Rowan, and our member spells it Rowan, and that's in honor of member Alice Shook, who's looking for her great-grandfather John. No, that's the wrong name. It's another one. I'll have to go back and catch up on that next week. But Rowan is the name, and the related spellings of the name, you can add an E to the end of that name. You can put an O in front of that name. You can even have a longer name like Rowan Tree that's shortened to Rowan, or you can just spell it R-O-N-E. You can even spell it more like a color, R-O-A-N-E. So we know all about that if we've been doing this for any amount of time at all. Part of variant spelling groups number 1821 and 1819 from the Guide to the Various Spellings of Irish Family Names. I have a link to that on the blog. Now, the history of the name, let's take a look at a few notes. Now, if you take a look at the Rowan family that we find in County Antrim, it's found in the Irish Book of Arms, and it's illustrated there, and it is said to have originated in Scotland. And another branch of the name is found in the Families of County Kerry, Ireland book, and that's say they settled there after the rebellion of 1641-42, and that line is traced back to George Rowan, and several related generations are given in that book. Now, Kerry historian Jeremiah King, he gave us Rowan anciently in the area, and then, if you look again in Northern Ireland, and we look at Pinner's Survey, that's out of that Conquest of Ireland series of books, that gives us a Mr. Rowan or Rowan, so it says the two spellings can be interchanged, R-O-N-E or R-O-W-A-N, and they talk a little bit about him in the footnotes to the text of that book, and they talk about how he died right after he obtained that land, and that led to its disrepair, and that's why he didn't do the proper job after getting the land back there in the 17th century. Now, his entry involves the mismanagement of that land, like I said, and a lot of that book is about how the land was handled when it changed hands from mainly from the Irish into the English or the Scottish settlers. So there's some interesting notes on families and events and exactly how they took place. Now, if we take a look at the Irish family coats of arms for the name Rowan from the Irish Book of Arms, it is indeed in there, and it's illustrated, and it also gives that branch of the family as being centered in County Antrim, Ireland. So that's most of the notes now. Hey, remember, too, that the Irish copyright expires next year for what famous Irish song? And they're even talking to the descendants of the folks that wrote that song. Do you know what that song would be? You're pretty bright if you do. Very few people have that in tow, but you know what? I think we know all about that song, and it's been around for a long, long time. Hey, coming up next, we've got that free master index online. We're going to search for that name and see what's there. got the Free Master Index, like I said, and here are some of the places where we found the names and the variant spellings in our books to give you an idea. 41 times. Okay. Rowan tree is found in the Guide to the Spelling of Irish Family Names. Rowan, R-O-N-E, was found in the Special Census of Ireland, Pinner's Survey. O'Rowan, or O'Rowan, is found in Irish Names and Surnames by Patrick Wolfe. There's a Major Rowan in the Families of County Kerry, Ireland book. And then there's Hamilton Rowan, found in Haverty's Irish American Almanac, which is one of the books in our library. And then we found a Rowan in County Mayo, Ireland, in the Mayo Genealogy and Family History Notes book. And then we also found a Rowan in the Milesian Families of Ireland book. So there's no shortage of places to go to find some listings for that name. And remember, you can use that free search index for your family name too. Just remember, drop that Mac or O before the name and then type in your root name and see how many books come up and see if there's a certain county that keeps repeating itself. That can help you in your search itself. It's a puzzle, I'm telling you. Oh, it's Around the World in Irish Ways, the web page and video of the month. Number 1, Rowan Cottage, Inch Island, Donegal Holiday Cottage. If you're a Rowan and you're heading out to Ireland, that might be a fun place to stay. At least they know the name. Number 2, we have the Rowan Family Genealogy Forum. Links to both of these things on the blog. That cottage, there's a video on it. And number 3, hero Michael Murphy was awarded the Medal of Honor. He was a SEAL who was really very heroic, and his mother christened the Warship Murphy. And boy, that's really a good story if you read it. It's a good thing we have people like Murphy around to help us. Number 4, Maureen O'Hara magazine, complete with interview. She made the news of late. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a few seconds. And those are our 4 selections for the day. I think they'll be interesting if you tune into them. There'll be something you like there. And remember, we also have our video shorts, and they're also on my list to get out there. Ooh, we've even got a CD where we took every single video short from our first year. That's our learning year, don't you know? And we put it on that Irish Masters CD program because, well, it's the freshman year, and it should be there, and you'll be learning right along with all of us. And I think we had a pretty steady hand on the camera. It was just getting used to positioning and things like that. And I think I've got 100 topics lined up to talk about if I can get my nephew to get over here with that video, and we can just knock them out and keep you all busy for months, if not years to come. Well, now it comes up to the last segment of the show, everybody's favorite, Curious News and Notes. Oh, well, Maureen O'Hara, yes, from the Quiet Man herself. She delivered a polite rebuke to the Arts and Culture Minister recently. The poor minister had inferred that she was over 90 years of age in a statement he made, and she said publicly in reply, "I am not over 90, I am 90. So that just tells you, don't be messing with Maureen O'Hara or any other Irish woman. You better get it right. Number 2, I was surprised when I saw that the average take for First Communion in Ireland was €416. It's not bad for a child. I think I only got money from one distant relative, and that was about $20. Things sure have changed. Link to all these things on the blog, too, these stories. Number 3, County Wexford has launched a new tourism website. If you've got a hankering for Wexford or your roots go back there, they say they've been underselling themselves. Link on the blog. Number 4, postman disappears. You know, there was 10 people charged with his murder, but his body was never found. They've got a book that's sort of investigating just what happened and why would 10 people be suspected of murdering one man. You'll have to read more about that. It's out of the Irish Times. Link on the blog. Number 5, a case of chickenpox saved several Irish from boarding the Titanic. And they might have thought they were in misfortune there, but it saved their lives, didn't it now, we think. Number 6, the copyright on the Irish national anthem expires next year, according to reports in Ireland. And they said it could be replaced with another tune now because everybody will be using it for all kinds of things. And they say they also might want to change the words from soldiers to warriors in the opening of that song there. And they also suggested a few other things. Everybody has an opinion, and you know what? Every freeborn Irishman has a right to that opinion. It's just interesting to see them all, isn't it? Let me see. Oh, and the last note is a new Irish record site launch. There's going to be another 4 million records out there on the web, and these includes the Griffiths valuation, which is 1847 to 1864 roughly, and it also various directories and landed estate court records. Now, it is a pay site, so you do have to pay something to use those records. And you'll see Griffiths valuation records already on the web in certain places and other pay sites. And I don't know if they've all brought the standards up, but I know some of them had more errors than others. And that's just part of the fun of research and discovering your Irish family heritage. But that's a good one. That's a link on the blog. It's www.findmypast.ie. And it always pays to at least take a casting glance towards these new record sites. You never know what might come up. And I think that's going to do it for me today. You know, somebody told us the other day we're the leading source for audio Irish genealogy. And I thought, boy, isn't that something? Pretty darn good. Thanks a million for listening. That's all for today, folks. Joseph, warm up those pipes. Remember, we have a broadcast series on Irish song and recitation, on local history of the Irish in America, and on 2,000 years of Irish history, as well as on the counties, and something special coming up on Irish language, I hope. We've got all that and more at our head school at irishroots.com. And you know, we've been known to appear, exhibit, teach, and even sing for your special events. Be sure to book in advance if it's important, and write me at my American address at Irish Roots Cafe, Box 7575, Kansas City, Missouri, 64116. Leave a message by phone at 816-256-3360. Reach me on my webpage at irishroots.com. Skype me at the Irish Roots Cafe. Get me on MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, and Irish Central. Members foot the bill so they get first priority, but we're open to all. And by the way, a big thank you to all of our members. And away.